The emergency klaxons were still wailing when Commander Vex'thor realized he had made the worst mistake of his 17-cycle career. "Sir, they're not responding to our hails," Communications Officer Ilk reported, his secondary mandibles clicking nervously. "The humans, they're just sitting there." Vex'thor's 3 eyes narrowed at the view screen. 12 hours ago, crossing into the Sol system had seemed like such a brilliant idea. The Galactic Council had warned everyone, of course. Stay out of human territory. Don't provoke them. Definitely don't enter their space without an invitation. But those warnings were just propaganda, weren't they? Scare tactics to keep the younger species in line. Except now, staring at the 6 to 7 human warships that had appeared out of absolutely nowhere, Vex'thor was starting to think maybe, just maybe, the Council had been onto something. How did they even do that? Tactical Officer Greenix whispered, her voice barely audible over the alarms. Our sensors showed nothing. Empty space. Then suddenly, an entire fleet. Stealth technology, Vex'thor muttered, though calling it technology felt inadequate. The Zinthari Confederation had the best detection systems in 4 quadrants, and the humans had just waltzed past them like they were children's toys. Try the hail again. Rilk's fingers danced across his console. Channel open, sir. Vex'thor cleared his throat, straightening his uniform. This is Commander Vex'thor of the Zinthari research vessel Morningstar. We apologize for the intrusion into your space. We experienced a navigation error and will depart immediately. There is no need for. A human face appeared on the screen. Female. Dark hair pulled back severely. Eyes that looked like they could freeze a star. She smiled, and somehow that made everything worse. "Oh, there's absolutely a need," she said, her tone pleasant in the way a predator might sound pleasant right before the kill. "I'm Admiral Kowalski of the Terran Defense Fleet. Welcome to human space, Commander. We've been expecting you." Expecting them? Vex'thor felt his blood chill. "I assure you, Admiral, this was purely accidental." Was it though? Kowalski leaned back in her chair, still smiling. "See, here's the thing. Your navigation error brought you exactly 3.7 astronomical units from our primary shipyard at Jupiter. Your sensors, despite being in error, somehow managed to perform 17 active scans of our defensive installations. And your communications array, which apparently still works fine, has been transmitting encrypted data packets to coordinates in the outer rim for the past 4 hours. Silence filled the bridge. Vex'thor could hear his crew's breathing, rapid and panicked. "So let's try this again," Kowalski continued. "Who sent you, and what exactly were you hoping to find?" Vex'thor's primary heart was hammering. The mission briefing had been clear. Get in, scan their defenses, get out. The humans were primitives, barely 300 cycles into space travel. They wouldn't notice a single scout ship. The Galactic Consortium was willing to pay extraordinary amounts of credits for intelligence on human military capabilities. Easy money, they had said. "I don't know what you're talking about," Vex'thor tried. Kowalski laughed. Actually laughed. "Okay, let me explain something about humans, Commander. We're persistent. We're creative. And we really, really don't like uninvited guests. Especially uninvited guests who are clearly spying on us." One of the human ships moved closer. Then another. They were boxing the Morningstar in, a choreographed dance that spoke of countless hours of practice. "You have 2 options, Kowalski said, her smile fading. "Option 1, you tell me everything. Who hired you, what you were looking for, and what you've already transmitted. In exchange, we'll only impound your ship and send you home in a shuttle. You'll arrive embarrassed but alive." "And option 2? Vex'thor asked, though he wasn't sure he wanted to know. "Option 2 is we assume you're hostile, and we demonstrate exactly why the Galactic Council keeps telling people to stay the hell out of our space. Spoiler alert, Commander, it won't end well for you." Greenix leaned close to Vex'thor. "Sir, we're completely surrounded. Weapons lock detected from 43 separate vessels. Our shields won't last 30 seconds against that kind of firepower." Vex'thor stared at the human admiral. At the warships surrounding his vessel. At the career he had just flushed into a black hole. "The consortium," he said finally. The Galactic Consortium hired us. They wanted information on your fleet strength, your weapon systems, your shipyard capacity. There we go, Kowalski nodded approvingly. Honesty. I appreciate that. Now, here's what's going to happen next. What happened next was not at all what Vex'thor expected. Admiral Kowalski's smile returned, but this time it had a different quality. Sharper. More calculating. Now that we're being honest with each other, let me share something with you, Commander. We knew you were coming. Impossible, Vex'thor breathed. Is it? Kowalski tilted her head. The consortium isn't exactly subtle. They've sent 14 quote-unquote research vessels into our space in the last 8 months. You're just the first one stupid enough to actually make it past the outer markers. We let you. The bridge went dead silent. Even the klaxons seemed to quiet, as if the ship itself was holding its breath. You let us. Rilke squeaked. Oh, absolutely. See, we've been having a problem. The Galactic Council keeps insisting we're paranoid. That our military buildup is unnecessary. That we're overreacting to every little diplomatic incident. Kowalski leaned forward, her eyes gleaming. But if we caught a consortium spy ship actively scanning our defenses, well, that changes the conversation, doesn't it? Vex'thor felt sick. They had been bait. The entire mission had been a setup from the beginning. So here's what you're going to do, Kowalski continued. You're going to take your ship, your crew, and your sensor data back to the consortium. You're going to tell them exactly what you saw here today. Every ship. Every weapon. Every detail. Why would you want that? Greenix asked, confused. Because, dear tactical officer, what you saw was exactly what we wanted you to see. Those 6 to 7 ships surrounding you. They're our training fleet. Mostly new recruits. The actual defense force is somewhere else entirely. She paused. Well, everywhere else, really. But you get my point. Vex'thor's minds reeled. Training fleet. These massive warships with their terrifying weapon arrays were for training? Of course, you could choose not to deliver that message, Kowalski said casually. But then we'd have to send it ourselves. And our delivery method is considerably less pleasant. Ask the Drachna Empire about that. Oh wait, you can't. They tried to establish a colony in the Kuiper Belt without asking. There is no Drachna Empire anymore. That's a lie, Vex'thor said, though his voice lacked conviction. The Drachna were wiped out by a plague. Sure they were. Kowalski's expression didn't change. A very specific plague that only affected their military installations and government centers. Funny how nature works sometimes. The implications hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Humans didn't just defend their territory. They eliminated threats. Completely. I'll deliver your message, Vex'thor said quietly. I know you will. Because here's the thing about humans, Commander. We don't want to fight. We don't want to conquer. We just want to be left alone. But if you can't respect that simple request. She shrugged. Well, then you learn why humanity survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and near extinction more times than most species have had hot dinners. A new ship appeared on the view screen. Smaller than the warships, but somehow more menacing. Its hull was black, absorbing light like a predator absorbing prey. That's the Nightfall, Kowalski said. She's going to escort you to the edge of our space. Just to make sure you don't get lost again. Try anything cute, and she'll demonstrate why we call her that. Hint, it involves your ship experiencing permanent darkness. Understood, Vex'thor managed. Oh, and Commander. One more thing. Kowalski's smile vanished entirely. Tell the consortium that this is their only warning. The next uninvited guest doesn't get a conversation. They get a demonstration. And trust me when I say our demonstrations are very, very educational. The screen went dark. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then Rilke broke the silence. Sir, the human escort is signaling us to follow. Set course, Vex'thor ordered, his voice hollow. Get us out of here. As the Morning Star limped toward the edge of human space, surrounded by vessels that could obliterate them in seconds, Vex'thor understood something fundamental. The Galactic Council's warnings weren't propaganda. They were mercy. Humans didn't build walls to keep others out. They built them to keep themselves in. And anyone foolish enough to knock on those walls learned a very simple truth. Humanity had clawed its way up from the bottom of the food chain on a death world. They had survived everything their own planet threw at them, then looked at the stars and decided to keep going. They didn't ask for much. Just respect. Just space. Just the simple courtesy of an invitation. But if you couldn't manage that, if you came uninvited, with hostile intent, thinking they were weak or naive or unprepared, then you discovered why every apex predator in the galaxy had learned to give human space a very, very wide berth. The morning star crossed the boundary marker. Behind them, the human fleet simply vanished, disappearing into whatever impossible stealth technology had hidden them in the first place. Vex'thor began composing his report to the consortium. Every word would be true. Every detail accurate. And every species that read it would understand one simple fact: humans didn't need to be the biggest or the strongest or the oldest civilization in the galaxy. They just needed to be the ones you absolutely did not want to provoke. Mission accomplished, Admiral Kowalski had said. Vex'thor was starting to understand what she meant.
Hello everyone. If you are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, don't forget to support our channel. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and share this video with your friends and family. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. We regularly upload amazing, informative, and entertaining content just for you. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to bring even better content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome to our growing community.